Point number 1, keep it interesting. Remember that these students go to school for long hours each day in China. They need something that they can look forward to in your class. Laughter is greatly encouraged and will also relax them and help them speak more. Also, be sure to use visual aids. We encourage props or puppets or whatever you can think of to make it interesting. Also, be sure to keep eye contact. This is very important. If you have notes or otherwise, it's okay to have those, but try not to look at them very much because eye contact keeps it interesting. Also, please do not use monotone speech or frowns or yawns. These will not be very professional and they will not be very interesting for your student. Lastly, I encourage you to search online for some examples of TPR. This means total physical response. See how I'm using my hands? Gestures and action is included in total physical response. This is a huge part of teaching and especially teaching online. So try to use your motions and activities to get these kids to engage in your lesson. That's it. Keep it interesting. Point number 1. Point number 2, speak slowly. Slower than is natural. The younger your student, the slower you should speak. Sometimes there may be a delay, so give time for your student to answer whatever question you asked. Speak slowly. Point number 2. Point number 3, use simple language. For example, instead of saying, okay, now let's look at point number 3, you can say, number 3. See, keep it simple. And again, the lower your level student, the simpler it needs to be. Do not be afraid of repeating the same sentences over and over. This will help your students to learn those sentences. So again, keep your language simple. Point number 3. Point number 4, correct, correct, correct. Do not let our students get away with a mistake. This is very important to the parents and the students. Do not worry about offending them because this will save them the embarrassment of speaking incorrectly later. So correct, be diligent about teaching them the correct pronunciation. Correct, number 4. Point number 5, ask lots of questions. Ask questions. We want the student speaking more than the teacher. So if you find that you're talking more than they are, you need to pause and ask some questions. Not only will this get them to practice, but this will also check their understanding. For example, for the younger students, if you have just taught them what a raccoon is, you can check their understanding by asking something like, can a raccoon fly? And by their answer, you can understand if they got the concept. For an older student, let's say you have just taught them the word infuriated. You can then ask them, if I got an A on a test, am I infuriated? And by their answer, you can tell if they understood what infuriated means. These are just a few ways to check for comprehension. But most importantly, get your student talking. Be quick to listen and slow to speak. Ask lots of questions. Number 5. Point number 6, be prepared. We suggest that 30 minutes before your lesson, you check your Wi-Fi and make sure that it is working properly so that in case it is not, you can go to your Plan B site immediately. Most importantly, we need you to be at your computer 10 minutes before your lesson time begins. This is to ensure that your device is working properly, that you have all of your lesson plan pulled up and all of your links ready to go, having skipped the ads and the commercials, and that you are ready to begin. Be prepared. Number 6. Point number 7, professionalism. Please refrain from any sensitive topics or foul language or discourse in your lessons. This includes anything political especially anything such as Tibet, Taiwan, or Tiananmen Square. Also, please refrain from any religious topics, except when you're explaining American culture, such as holidays. If a student should ask you about your own religious preference, please make sure that you include the fact that this is not representative of all of America or Tudor English. Also, if you should experience any interference, either technical or otherwise, during your lesson, be sure to report it immediately to Tudor directly after your lesson so that you will not be penalized for not completing your lesson. Also, don't forget to dress appropriately. We are catering to people of all different people groups within China, so modesty is important. There should be no cleavage or undergarments showing, avoid sleeveless clothes, and just keep yourself looking professional. Also, we advise you to have a light near your face, and please do not have light streaming in behind you, as this will give you shadows on your face and they will not be able to see you. Also, please be sure to use the restroom before your class begins. Just like any other class, if you were teaching in America, you should not be leaving your class like you wouldn't in America face-to-face. So that also means do not use your cell phone during the class. No cell phone is ever allowed in class. Professionalism. Point number 7. And the last point is that the student is the focus. At Tudor, we do expect you to get through one lesson plan per lesson. However, use your teacher intuition. If you are finding that your student is really having difficulty with a concept, do not rush through the lesson in order to finish. We expect you to use your good judgment and to stick with your student and remember to help them learn. Your job is to teach, not to get through the lesson plan. The student is the focus. Okay, that's all. Thank you so much for joining us on our teacher training video. Bye-bye.